and for those of you tuning in at home, my name is Benjamin Cloutier. I am the Election Committee Chair and President of the Student Government Association. Before I begin, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the setup for this evening in terms of how the debates are going to go, but I'd just like to make one quick announcement. If you are here running for student government and you haven't signed in yet, the sign-in table is where those ladies are waving their hands. Make sure that you sign in, otherwise you will be removed from the ballot because we don't know that you're here. So, thank you. So I'll explain the way that the debates are going to work tonight. There will be a 2-minute opening statement for each candidate. The candidate that opens will be the candidate that goes second in closing. For each of the candidates, there will be a minimum of 3 questions asked to them. They have a maximum of 2 minutes to respond. They will be given a warning at 30 seconds and a warning at 10 seconds by Eric and Gail here up front when they have those times left. Additionally, for each question, each candidate is allowed to request 1 30-second rebuttal, and then each candidate will have a 90-second closing. On all of your seats, there are question sheets. If you have a question that you would like to submit for the debate, you can submit them to Katie Tobin in the back there. She's waving her hand. Lovely Katie Tobin. She will take them for you and submit those to our moderators, Gail and Eric, for them to be asked to the candidates. We want to wish good luck to all 7 candidates running, especially good luck to those running in a contested race. And let's get the show on the road. Thanks for being here again. Bye.
Matt, 2 minutes on your first one.
Hello all. Thank you for coming out and tuning in tonight. My name is Matt Desolitz. I'm a junior from Upton, Massachusetts, and I'm here before you to request your vote of confidence as your next student body president. The role of president on any of our campus organizations here, whether it's SGA, Best Buddies, or a Greek Life chapter, is to be the face of that organization and set the direction for everything they do. We have more than 100 organizations here that elect a president. These organizations pick someone who wholeheartedly believes in the mission that their organization strives to accomplish. For me, I believe in the mission of Quinnipiac University. I believe in the mission of the Quinnipiac University Student Government Association. I believe in the opportunities that each one of us is afforded in attending this prestigious university. This university has afforded me countless opportunities I would have never had without becoming a Bobcat. These opportunities are what drive me to want to serve the students of Quinnipiac and the university at large. I am more than ready and willing to dedicate my senior year to bettering our shared university for current students and generations of Bobcats to come. Due to the fact that the role of student body president makes it a priority to move towards working towards accomplishments of larger scale initiatives, I may not see the results of my work as student body president, but I know the efforts I put forth will better this university in the long run. For the larger scale initiatives I want to move SGA in the direction of accomplishing within the next few years includes, first, establishing a university hour once the law school and the business school have made their respective moves. Secondly, the creation of a student tuition advisory board. And thirdly, showing our Bobcat pride, spirits, and traditions in more tangible ways. I am extremely excited about the opportunity to serve the entire student body. Thank you for your continuous support of the Quinnipiac University Student Government Association. I'm looking forward to this next year and any questions you all may have. Thank you.
Can you just adjust the mic to your face a little more? Okay. Your first question is, what do you perceive as the major challenges and opportunities of SGA in the upcoming year, and how do you plan to capitalize on those opportunities and manage challenges?
All right, so I see 2 different areas for this question with challenges and opportunities. First, There's internal challenges of SGA and internal opportunities. First, it's communication within SGA. Our structure right now isn't set up where our communication between cabinets, executive board, and those committees can really work fluidly. So I see an opportunity here for the next executive board and myself to redo the structure of SGA so that we can be a more effective organization moving forward through the years. Secondly, externally, I see an opportunity with, like I mentioned before, having physical signs of Bobcat pride, spirit, and tradition on this campus. Evan Milas and I have already begun working on meeting with administrators to pursue these traditions of pride and spirit and showing our Bobcat spirit on our campuses.
Thank you. Your next question is, what do you feel the role of the student body president here at Quinnipiac is?
All right, so a couple different important things. First and foremost, listening to students' issues and being their chief advocate to administration. I think that's the most important thing that a student body president does. Secondly, the student body president is a positive face for not only student government, but for the university as a whole. And important thing is that the student body president sets the tone for student government and guides the student government for all 40 members in accomplishing initiatives to better serve our student population.
Thank you. Okay, and your last question, seeing none from the audience, is what has been your greatest success on student government so far? What did you learn from that achievement that you think that other SGA members can use moving forward?
Class president, I believe my mission has been to be more transparent with the SGA's mission and what we're trying to accomplish. So 2 things that I've done along with this mission are having an open class cabinet meeting. We invited about 30 student leaders to come to a class cabinet meeting, which ended up being the largest class cabinet meeting that SGA has ever had. And this was a forum for students to kind of tell us what they want to see, because they don't necessarily know what's going on in SGA. So this is a major thing that I have accomplished in the realm of transparency. And secondly, an email newsletter to my class. It's never really been done before, where our class president has emailed their class letting them know what SGA has done. So this was a tremendous opportunity for me that I saw, and that's going to be something that I continue to do for the next year.
Thanks, Matt. And your 90-second close.
This past year has been one of the greatest ever for Quinnipiac University Student Government Association. We've made monumental strides this year as an organization in forging relationships with administrators all over campus. I plan to use this momentum of the 2012-2013 SGA board has created and continuing to pursue and accomplish initiatives to better our shared university. I really appreciate you all coming out to listen to this important debate tonight, and I hope you all believe in me to be your next student body president.
All right, next up we have student concerns. Evan. Two minutes whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone. For those of you I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, my name is Evangelist Milas. But because I'm hoping to become good friends, let's just start calling together. First off, I want to thank you all for being here. Last year, I stood here at the SGA Debates, expressing my genuine desire to be the next vice president. After being given that opportunity, my desire has only grown. Next year, I hope to serve as an important guiding force for this organization as a returning board member. Last year, I set out to build a strong relationship with the Department of Public Safety and SGA. Throughout the year, SGA has worked extensively with public safety in implementing new parking policies, as well as establishing a Yorkville shuttle schedule. This has served to alleviate some of the parking congestions on campus, as well as to provide a dependable ride for students in class. In addition, I've also focused the attention of the Student Awareness Committee on establishing or developing spirit-based initiatives. This was done in the hopes of bridging the gap between alumni and students so that they could have a common goal or tradition to share their spirit by it. Oftentimes, there's no easy solution for many major issues on campus. However, I believe with the experience I've gained this year, I'll be able to bring this position as well as this organization to new heights. For the next year, I plan on heavily pushing some of the larger proposals already put into progress. Many of these take a lot of time. In order to mature into powerful changes, every small progress needs to be important and taken due time with. In addition, I plan on better incorporating outlets such as campus media as well as social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter to help better identify the student concerns on campus. This university as well as this organization has meant a lot for me. And I couldn't think of a better way to spend my last year than serving you again as the Vice President of Student Concerns. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions.
Your first question, you mentioned this briefly in your opening. During the past year, the Student Awareness Committee has worked to establish a strong partnership with the Department of Public Safety. The question is, what other functional areas of the university do you feel SGA can develop similar partnerships with going forward?
So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I worked a lot to develop a strong relationship between public safety and SGA, and that has given us a lot of progress this year. Other cabinets have done this as well. I've seen a lot of progress with the class of 2014 in the aspects of academic affairs, as well as the class of 2015 with faculty of facilities, and the freshman class, the class of 2016 with athletics. For next year, I plan on working with the e-board to help progress these departments and these relationships. I think we can have a lot of initiatives go through just based on relationships built. Other departments that I off the top of my head know that we built great relationships throughout this last year is Charco's and as well as alumni affairs. And I plan on continuing these relationships and hoping to build any new ones that we possible.
Thank you. Okay. Your next question is, one of the Student Awareness Committee's goals this year was to work with many areas across the university to develop a greater sense of school spirit. I'd just like for you to talk a little bit about what progress has been made toward that goal and what your plans are in the upcoming year.
Yeah, as I mentioned in my opening speech, the big focus for the Student Awareness Committee this year was to develop a series of spirit-based initiatives. Just to mention some of the initiatives, it was a Break Bricks. This initiative would incorporate the student creed or the mission statement of the school in the middle of the quad, perhaps a place where students only cross when they graduate. These are the type of things that would instill a tradition on our campus. Another initiative that we developed was the throwback jersey. We want retro-looking or throwback jerseys available for the students to buy. These could be limited edition clothing that would help facilitate that desire to get that old-looking jersey and kind of bring in that pride. We also have developed a Spirit Rock initiative in the past. This has taken a lot of time, but this is not something we give up for. This would allow for a spot on campus that students can paint, make their own, and kind of just show their colors.
Excellent. And your last question, seeing no others from the audience, what improvements do you feel that can be made by SGA in the upcoming year to be more responsive to student concerns? You mentioned in your opening Facebook, Twitter, things like that. What can SGA do better to communicate with students?
This year, I spent a lot of time thinking of how we could improve our student awareness community. Although I believe that we've done a lot of great work, I think there's always room. So I've taken a lot of time speaking with one of our advisors, and we've come up with some pretty cool ideas of how we can incorporate the student media that's already on campus, which does a great job at identifying issues on campus, as well as Twitter and Facebook. Just to use an example, when someone tweets that they are upset that the Bobcat Den is closed on during finals week, the Student Awareness Committee could identify these concerns simply by just checking into their Twitter. This is how I believe that we'll be way more efficient on securing concerns and issues.
Thank you. And your 90-second closing.
I just want to thank you all again for being here. Over the last 3 years, I have been involved with student government. It has been the most rewarding experience for me. This year specifically, I've put a lot of time into getting to understand this organization. I feel ever more confident in my ability to lead in this position. I've met a lot of leaders on this campus simply by being involved with this, and they've built a relationship with administrators that I hope to excel with next year. Once again, thank you for your time.
Next up, we have our candidate for VP of Programming, Robert Grant. All right, and 2 minutes on your first word.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Robert Grant, and I am running for your Vice President for Programming for Student Government. I am a junior broadcast journalism major here at UCF, and I really would love to have this position. But before I tell you the improvements I want to make, I want to tell you why I'm passionate about programming. When I was a freshman here, I had a really difficult time making friends, finding connection with the community. I didn't feel like I had that sense of belonging. But then I joined these programming organizations like QU After Dark, the Student Programming Board, and the Student Government Association. Those organizations gave me this purpose, this reason to be here. And that is why I want this position, because I want to give back to people like you. And I want to help others find that place they couldn't get through the program that we've done. I'm the current Vice President of the Student Programming Board, and work directly with the current VP for Programming. If you don't know, SGA is a standing committee of SGA, and the VP for Programming also serves as the President of Student Programming. I've also served as the former promotions chair of QU After Dark and SPB, and most recently as a junior class representative for SGA. So with all this experience, I've seen a wide variety of events. I know it works well, I know it doesn't, and I know the improvements that we need to make. The key to successful events is making sure that you want to come to them. It sounds simple, but there's such a gap between what you guys want and what student organizations deliver. What I want to do is make sure that we are enhancing those communication efforts, that the student body can better relay their opinions, their suggestions to us, so that we know what's a program for you guys. Along with that, there's a diverse array of student organizations here. And we need to use that diversity, the resources that we have, so we can diversify our events and reach out to a larger portion of our student body. Thank you guys so much for coming today. For the questions.
All right, we're going to start off, as you mentioned, this is kind of a dual role with SGA and SPB. On the SGA side, this year we focused on initiative-based programming, and I'm wondering if you could explain a little bit more about what ideas you have to bring to those programs that would make them more engaging and interesting to students.
Programs have so many different ideas and different reasons. For example, St. Paul's has this community center behind it. We are raising money for children's cancer. And then we also have things that student government does, like the debate watch that we did last semester. Those types of things, and that's programming with a purpose. And that's what I want to do, because when we program with a purpose, we have the potential to bring together the student body. And that's the goal of what student government is, bringing this community together. I think as we can continue, and as SGA continue to strive to look at these initiatives that we're doing and make sure that we are doing purposeful programs. And work together. I think SGA and SGA need to have that combined relationship, and with that relationship, we can put on the best events possible. We already understand committee, so it makes sense.
Thank you. So what do you perceive as the strengths and weaknesses of the Student Programming Board? Again, how can you capitalize on those strengths and manage the weaknesses?
I think one of the strengths of the Student Programming Board is our ability to promote our events. I feel like we have a good general awareness of, students have a general awareness of what we're doing and what we're doing. But that doesn't mean we can't improve on it. I want to make sure that we're consistently keeping up with our promotions, making sure that those table texts are updated constantly and that you guys are checking them, that you know they're there and that they're for us to read. I also think that we can continue to improve on our ability to program for you guys. When I was the promotions chair, I implemented a post-event survey. So we did basically a quick quarter sheet we handed out, but it was cool. I think it was word, because we were able to get your opinions and your feedback on the events, give ideas for future events, and we looked at that and we take those into consideration. We sometimes do programming for ourselves too much. We need to make sure we're programming for the student body, not for ourselves.
Thank you. And your last question. 2 years ago, SGA introduced the Programming Roundtable, which is where the VP of Programming has worked with student organizations to kind of address their programming needs. What changes do you think that you might make going forward to kind of improve that and make it more useful for the student organizations?
The Programming Roundtable is such a perfect opportunity for us to network with the other organizations. I mentioned in my opening that the best programs we put on is the programs that we do working with other student organizations. And this is that time where everyone can come together and support each other, we can network with each other, and just share ideas. So I would like to start by promoting this more, making sure the student organizations are aware of what's going on. These roundtables can be used to not only explain what programming is, but then, like I said, just sharing ideas, because when we have that idea flow, we can utilize that more. So I would like to make sure organizations are aware of that and utilize it more.
Thank you. And your 90-second closing.
So I told you why I'm passionate about programming, why I want this position, and some of the steps that I'm taking to improve it if elected. But this is just the start. There's so much we can do with the programs on campus if we work together. One of my main goals, like I said, is to program with a purpose, which is one of the main things student government programming community is for. And SGA, I know you're doing that as well. It is my goal to do this so that we can, with the student government and student programming work, we can program these events to bring the student body together. And that's such an important goal, and that's why I'm going to leave you with this message. I can't do this alone. I need your help. I want you guys to look at these events and give that feedback, suggestions, critiques, so we can always look back and see what we did, and look to the future. Make sure we're doing the best job that we can. I will take any ideas that you have into consideration, and I will put them forward to the right person or organization, and so you can see your ideas put forward into action. Again, my name is Robert Grant. I'm running for VP Programming, and thank you so much for your time tonight, guys.
All right, thank you, audience. So before this, we had a coin toss. Danielle will be has chosen to go first with her 2-minute opening.
Hello. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. My name is Danielle Big, and I want to be your next Vice President for Finance. So you're probably wondering, why should we vote Big, and why would she be the most qualified person for this position? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. I'm currently a junior finance major from New York, and I've been on student government for 2 years. Within those 2 years, I've been on the finance committee and worked closely with Eric Cody, the current Vice President for Finance. Since I've been on SGA, I've worked on different initiatives such as Spirit Initiative and Academic Initiative. I've also sat on different committees within student government, such as the Election Committee and the COSGA Committee. COSGA is a student government conference held at Texas A&M, and I had the privilege of being one of Quinnipiac's delegates to go. There, I learned essential leadership skills. Some of my involvement outside of student government involves Big Event E-Board, founding sister of Ivy to 5, and the Recreation Advisory Committee. Now that you know a little bit about myself, I'd like to share 3 initiatives that I have planned for this position if I get elected. My first initiative is to make Collegiate Link more efficient. I don't know if any of you use Collegiate Link for the finance purposes, but if you do, it's very difficult to reserve the credit card, submit special appeals, review your budget, and receive reimbursements. My goal is to work with Collegiate Link to make it more efficient and effective. My second initiative is to hold life seminars. The purpose of a life seminar is to give students who are not knowledgeable about finance or don't take finance classes on a regular basis, learn the basics of finance so that when you leave college, you know how to write a check, manage your loans, use an Excel spreadsheet. My third initiative is to create a student tuition advisory board, in which students will sit in on key meetings with administrators and discuss next year's tuition. I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to move forward with my initiatives as your Vice President for Finance.
All right, Mike, again, 2 minutes on your first word.
Firstly, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mike Elias, and I'm going to be your next Vice President for Finance at the Student Government Association. I'm a sophomore who spent 2 terms on SGA, both of which have been spent on the finance. So I understand what has to happen in order for it to operate and run effectively. I've also worked closely with initiatives concerning children, such as offering from the National Cafe, eggs to be served all day at BYOB, grocery section on the Mount Carmel Cafe, and coming this fall, a new section where that's serving smoothies and an omelet bar all day in the cafe, so breakfast all day. Now I want to get down to what I want to do for financing. I'm a person who believes in efficiency. I want to create tutorial videos that will be placed on DUQU and the QUSGA webpage to help student organizations do special appeals and budgeting process, so that they know every step of the way how to use them, so it makes SGA's life easier and the student organization's life. I also want to make the money that SGA spends more transparent to the student body. I want to work closely with campus media such as the Q30 and the Chronicle to inform the students about the money that SGA spends. Quinnipiac allows the SGA a $650,000 fund, $650,000 to fund student organizations. It is in my opinion, however, that however SGA decides to allocate these funds should be made public to students. Only through public access to SGA knowledge does the student electorate know what they're truly doing. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Okay, so this question, we're going to start with Mike. Again, it's 2 minutes on your first word. How can the Finance Committee work to improve communication with student organizations?
think that social media is the best way to do it. Letting people know when they have to get their budgets in through the Q, SGA Twitter, posting things on my Q, just letting the students at Quinnipiac know every facet possible that Quinnipiac provides for the students. So it's just plastered all over the place. When special appeals have to be in by, if an organization wants to apply for a special, when budgets have to be in by, or when a student organization needs to apply for a budget.
Thank you. Danielle, same question. How can the Finance Committee work to improve communication with student organizations?
I'm going to take a different approach on this. I believe that communication is through visual contact. So I think that the Finance Committee needs to know all of the treasurers in every single organization. If they need to come and get their credit card and I'm not in the office but another Finance Committee is there, that would be so much more effective for them to get the budgets, get the special deals, whatever they need at that moment. They need to know our face, we need to know their face. I'm not the only one representing the Finance Committee. If I got this position, it would be the whole Finance Committee representing the finance position in student government.
Thank you. Okay, this next question, we're going to start with you, Danielle. As the SGA budget continues to grow, what changes would you consider making to the financial policy to increase funding opportunities for student organizations in ways that SGA does not fund them as of now? Sure. So as the SGA budget continues to grow, what changes would you consider making to the financial policy to increase funding opportunities for student organizations in terms of different funding opportunities that we're not offering them right now?
Okay. As the SGA budget continues to grow, our school continues to grow. So we have a policy in the finance policy right now that says that $10,000 will be allocated to different groups on campus, such as the senior week event, for example. But as as the money and the economy and everything else continues to inflate and prices get higher, we need to be aware of that and make sure that we allocate enough money. So as that happens, maybe $12,000 goes to that. We need to be able to change and be open-minded about the different prices that we're giving them.
Thank you. Mike, same question to you. As the SGA budget continues to grow, what changes would you consider making to the financial policy to increase funding opportunities for student organizations?
Well, firstly, I'd like to completely agree. I believe that we really need to adapt the budget. And I also think another way that we can affect the financial policy is that as our budget continues to grow, I think we should allow organizations a little bit more funding for conferences. Because we have a little bit of a strict policy right now as regarding for funding conferences. We can only fund, I believe it's an advisor and 2 students. So I want to be able to fund more so that we help the organizations out a little bit more.
Thank you. Okay, and Mike, this question will start with you. Beyond allocating funds and working with organizations to do kind of basic purchasing, what other roles do you see the Finance Committee serving in as time goes on?
The major function I think that the Finance Committee has is, aside from budgeting for student organizations, is in-house SGA stuff, like doing the little things behind the scenes that make SGA run so smoothly and efficiently. So what I would do is just try to get the students on the Finance Committee more acclimated to doing initiatives based upon making SGA more efficient.
Thank you. Danielle, same question to you. Beyond allocating funds and working with organizations to do basic purchasing, what roles do you see the Finance Committee serving in as time goes on?
Okay. Well, I think one of my initiatives, the Live Seminar, is a great way to show different roles that finance could take. We're not here just for the organizations, we're here for the whole student body. It's necessary that every student that leaves this campus knows some basic finance to go out there in the real world and be financially sound. Another thing that I think would be great is having treasurer roundtables. Bring those treasurers together, discuss different ways in which they can fundraise and put on different programs to get that money. So I think that's how we can change.
Thank you. Okay, and now we'll do closing statements, seeing no questions from the audience. Mike, 90 seconds on your first word.
Every initiative has happened Everything I do as a part of this organization has three key values: efficiency, transparency, and tradition. If elected, I will take the same mentality into my new position and strive to accomplish great things for this university. I'd like to thank you for hearing us out tonight, and I'd also like to thank you, Danielle. It's been tough. It's been really tough campaigning for both of us. Whether or not what happens on Wednesday, I'm 100% behind you. So I just want to let you know that. And there's still lots of organizations.
All right, and Danielle, 90 seconds on your first word.
Thank you guys again for coming out and watching the debate. I really hope that after this debate, you guys feel as passionate about my initiatives as I do. I have the leadership skills, financial knowledge, and organization to move the position of Vice President for Finance to not only being a resource for the organizations, but being a resource for the whole student body. Once again, thank you, and don't forget to vote big, and thank you, my dad.
All right, so these are our candidates for Vice President for Public Relations. Again, a coin toss was had a little bit earlier, and Theo was victorious, I guess, so he's going to be going first. Theo, 2 minutes on your first word.
Have you ever believed in something? Well, I have. I believe in transparency, our students, and Quinnipiac University. If we come together through increased transparency and better understanding of this student government, we can accomplish something great.
Hi, my name is Theo Sigalakis, and I'm running to be your next Vice President of Public Relations. For the past 2 years, I've served as a representative on this student government, working on multiple initiatives, and even I got to attend a conference at Texas A&M. Outside of student government, I'm a brother of Phi Kappa Phi, and I'm Director of Recruitment for the Interfraternal Council. That's all in the past. What's important is what I can do for you now. The one thing I dream of is a Quinnipiac University that has increased transparency of student government. They know exactly what we do and why we do it. I want to do this by funneling out plenty of PR press releases to newspapers, so there's increased material about what we do at student government. I want a Quinnipiac University that has pride and tradition. I want to do this through social media, do stuff like a bi-daily photo challenge so that students can take pictures of things that give them pride and tradition about Quinnipiac. And also doing stuff like incentivizing Twitter, so that when they send us in a picture or answer a question, we can give them out a Dunkin' Donuts gift card or something like that. However, publicity is just one side of this position. Public relations is about having a relationship with the public. And if I'm going to do that, there's some needs that need to be tended to. One, I want a Quinnipiac University with space. Big organizations, small organizations, everybody needs to have space. I'm going to do this through an ad hoc committee with Mark Thompson. Two, I want less event restrictions. I want to have 24-hour events. These are the kind of things that build tradition and spirit. But three, we need better Hampton relations. I want a Quinnipiac that is the center of Hampton, just like Quinnipiac's the center of us. But these things, they're not going to happen overnight. The Quinnipiac University I dream of is going to take hard work and effort, but I believe we can do it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Jules, once again, 2 minutes on your first word.
Good evening, everyone. As probably none of you know, I'm Jules. And I want to be your vice president for public relations for next year. First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming out. It's been a long road for this past week campaigning, but really, we really appreciate your support being here. Let me start off by telling you about myself. I'm a management major here at Quinnipiac University. I served on SGA for the past 2 years as a class representative, and this last year I was appointed to be the association secretary. This deals mostly internally, but I work directly with the executive board, especially Ben Cludier and Ryan Scanlon. As the secretary, I see a well-rounded picture of SGA internally. I know keep track of all the minutes, policies, all official documents of SGA. My involvement at PU is specifically focused to SGA, but I'm also a founding sister of Kappa Delta, and I was recently appointed to be their social chair. And I also volunteer with the Big Event and other various community service efforts. I learned that the position of VP for Public Relations is completely crucial to the success of PU SGA. As written in our mission statement, SGA is committed to the current and future students of Quinnipiac University. After having many conversations this last week campaigning, I got questions like, what does SGA even stand for? Hello, this needs to change, okay? Obviously, the executive board has done great things with transparency, but we also need to use incentives with our social media. But along with transparency, there needs to be visibility. This position acts as a communication liaison for the student body, for the organizations across the campus. I want people to feel comfortable with SGA. I want people to be able to approach us. I want that door open. I want you to walk into my office and be like, Jules, what is going on? I need an SGA update, or I want to start this organization. Let's make it personal. And I also want to fix relations with Hampton, but I just want to bring enthusiasm, professionalism, and a well-rounded view to this position.
All right. So the first question, Jules, we're going to start with you. Again, 2 minutes on your first word. What do you feel is the most effective way to communicate with the student body?
Okay, so obviously we're extremely social human beings, and we love our phones, Twitter, social media. That's awesome. Brian has revamped the PU SGA website with the Friday FYIs, and that's so great. But we need incentives to gain those attractions for you to actually update yourself on what's going on. But we also need to target those students that don't want to update themselves. We need to go to them. They're not always going to come to us. I think it's very important that we have face-to-face communications. With executive board positions, we are hold office hours. I think we should extend these across all 3 campuses. Make them less formal. I want to sit in North Haven cafeteria. Heard the food's great there. I'm going to sit there and be like, hey, come talk to me. I'm just going to hang out, keeping you guys in the know. Obviously, using our social media is great in all of our Q outlets and GUQU. There's so many great tools that we can use as communication resources, but we need to bring SGA back to the students. We need to be personable. Whoa.
Theo, same question to you. What do you feel is the most effective way to communicate with the Quinnipiac student body?
Well, guys, I'm old school. I like newspapers. You don't have to be my friend on Facebook, SGA's friend on Facebook, to find out what's going on. I think we need to communicate better with the newspapers. That's why I want to turn to the PR committee, sending out press releases to Quad, to Chronicles. Everybody on campus has access to that newspaper. And I think the more it's in there, the more things are going to spread by word of mouth, the old-fashioned way. Social media is great, but there's only so much I can do on social media. Not every 6,000 of these students is going to like our page on social media, is going to follow us on Twitter, but all 6,000 of these students have a chance to access that newspaper. And that's how I think we're going to get it done, doing something the old-fashioned way. Thank you.
Okay, next question. This is going to start with Theo. So this past weekend we had the big event. SGA is one of the 2 sponsors of that event, and our Vice President of Public Relations serves on the executive board of the big event. What plans do you have to continue to grow and promote that event?
Well, you know something? I love what Ryan Scanlon did this year. I think going door to door is one of the best way possible. I think we effectively used score sheets again, and I think we did social media. I mean, I think there can be, you know, increased advertising through banners and stuff like that, but really it's just continuing. I think that we've had it here for a couple years, and it's a brand that just needs to continue to build and grow. You know, once more new students come in and see more T-shirts and see more big event stuff from years past and hear about it, then it's going to increase to grow it. But I don't think just more tweets and more of that is really going to do it. I think it's just going to be time.
Okay, Jules, same question to you relating to the big event. What plans do you have to continue to grow and promote?
Okay, so we have a tremendous amount of support for the big event, and people do want to get involved. Obviously, we're going to continue that, promoting it across campus. But I think that one major thing with promoting the big event is promoting fintech to the community in Hampton, as the surrounding areas of North Haven and New Haven. They often view us on the weekends, and they don't see all the great things that we're going to be doing with the big event, all the community service projects. I think it's important to take that executive board position with publicity, and I think it's really important to creatively brand and market the student population to the surrounding community. We need to establish that positive reputation through this community service. The big event is awesome, and there's so much just enthusiasm to be involved with it. And you're waking up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and we're going to be in the rec center, but we're all ready to go. We're ready to do it. It's such a great day and such a great experience. And I think just showing this to incoming students to gain their attraction, but also bringing us to the community and branding us that way.
Thank you. Okay, Jules, this question is going to start with you. Both of you have had pretty substantial SGA experience. So the question is, in your perception, what areas falling under the VP for PR are in most need of improvement for the upcoming year?
So, the Vice President of Public Relations is a very varied task, has a very varied task. Big event, social media, obviously all of that, but also the Council of Reps and the chartering process for new organizations. I think the Council of Reps, Ryan, has done a great job of separating it into specific organizations like arts and multicultural committees, and I think that's great, but I think that there needs to be some sort of incentive for them to involve themselves with the Council of Reps. It's such an underutilized resource for the organizations. I also think the charting process, I want to make it more apparent as to how it works, what's going on with its policies, internally with SGA and also externally. If you want to start a new organization, you need to know how. Obviously, we're an ever-expanding student population, and there's going to be a need for new organizations. People should know how to do it. I think that using the Council of Reps to help foster the growth of the newly chartered organizations is a great connection and a great resource, and bringing together all the duties of this position.
Theo, same question to you. What areas falling under the Vice President for Public Relations do you feel are in the need of most improvement in the upcoming year?
Well, the key thing was most improvement. I think Brian Scanlon's did a lot with the Council of Reps in the last year, and our charter programs came a long way. I don't see that as most improvement. I see what needs most improvement is the environment our organizations exist within. Being the Vice President of Public Relations, you're a leader for all student organizations on campus. You handle their chartering process, you get them all vital information on how to be compliant with SGA as a compliant organization. I see the environment as the big need. We need more space. We need to figure out more programming space. And it needs to happen fast. Our school is growing immensely. This is not an initiative that's going to happen overnight, but I want classes 2016, classes 2017, having enough space to hold their events. And I think that's crucial. And I think we have to keep sticking it into administration about how important it is that we have space. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one audience question that we're going to go with. How would you brand us to the Hamden community? And then there's a follow-up that says a lot of those people don't use social media. I'm not sure if us is student government or Quinnipiac. I'm going to let you make your own decision there. And that'll start with you, Theo. If you think it's Hamden, go for it.
I think the key is a good neighbor campaign. I think it's finding ways to get us out in the community, not in the big event. And it could be in smaller groups, but they only need to interact with 5 to 10 of us to understand Quinnipiac students. Currently, the problem is Camden doesn't understand us. They don't have a face to us. They just have a university. We're just a mass group. We're not individuals. I think the thing is doing a good neighbor campaign. I think something where we can put a door hanger or something in the mailbox, you know, going door to door on the impersonal side, but then starting to have groups have access to these Camden events so that we can start showing up there and be, hi, we're Quinnipiac University. I think we have to mobilize within the community, and that'll make a big difference. But I mean, the other thing I want to do is I want to do something called 30 Days of Hampton. And that's where we take a month, and every different day of the week, you can go to a certain Hampton eatery and get a discount. And that will incentivize our students to go out into the community and be more of a face with this community that we all love, but they don't always love us back. And I think that's the best way we can do it. So, thank you.
Jules, same question to you. How would you brand us to the Hamden community? A lot of those people don't use social media.
I think that the Hamden community, I agree with that statement, they don't use social media. So I think reaching out to local Hamden papers, whether it be the Hamden Patch or just fostering relationships with town officials and school boards and just talking to them and just establishing feedback. With Theo's I got the good neighbor policy, they brought it back from Costco and it was presented to us in the student government, and I remember taking notes about it. And it's just basically you live off campus and your neighbor is not happy with you at 3 in the morning on a Saturday night. So just to increase, they use door hangers to kind of voice their feedback to each other, but just trying to be that resource as the communication between the student body and Hamden residents. But I think it's also important to just, obviously we need to brand ourselves and we need to show them what we do and how great we are during every other time that they never see us. Presentations within school boards, town planning boards, zoning boards, and just having a presence out there, helping with community service projects, not only with the big event, but just in general. Inviting the kids from elementary schools to come to Quinnipiac and just fostering relationships and keeping it kind of all together, creating a bond with them.
Thank you. Okay, and we'll move on to closing statements. Again, 90 seconds. Jules, you're up first on your first read.
Once again, I want to thank you all for attending our debates and supporting your SGA Executive Board candidates. Your attendance shows your support and your active involvement on this campus, and that speaks greatly to me. Makes me feel a lot better after hearing what does SGA stand for this whole week. I hope you gained a better insight into this position, my qualifications, my passion, and my future initiatives. SGA has given me so much enthusiasm about Quinnipiac, and I hope to further that through communication. I cannot stress the importance of voting, and I'm standing up here and asking each and every one of you to consider what the position entails and who is best qualified to establish positive relationships with all aspects of our community. This position calls for a creative and professional individual that can reach a broad spectrum of the Quinnipiac University campus. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jules. And again, Theo, 90 seconds on your first word.
Well, first off, of course, I want to thank everybody for coming out to come to our debate. It really means a lot. Second, I want to thank Jules. She's ran a really hard race against me. Lost me a lot of sleep this week. It happens. And then I want to thank my fraternity for being here, supporting me the whole week, even when I look like I'm going a little crazy. And then finally, I want to thank my mom and dad because they've had to put up with me for the 21 years prior. It's been a lot putting up, so I really got to thank them for that. So anyway, thank you guys again. Have a great night.
Debates. Once again, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out. Thank you to our lively crowd. Elections are on Wednesday from midnight to 8 p.m. on 2UQU, which is qu.collegiatelink.net. So make sure you go, make sure you vote, and have a great night. Thank you, everybody. One last time, if you're running for SGA and you didn't sign in, please come sign in and listen to me. Thank you.